So welcome back with the time switches that we discussed there in the previous video. It is containing the connection store. Okay, one space which we have seen in the last video containing K incoming PCM highways, M outgoing PCM highways. There we have seen that each column is supported by the one connection store, which is storing the address of the time slots in the PCM highways. So let us see in detail about this time switch. It will contain the P store also along with connection store. Here you can see along with connection store, which is storing the address of the time slots. It will also having in time switch the P store, where we are going to store the speech segments which are coming in the different time slots of the PCM highways. We have seen in the 30 channel PCM frame highway, some around 15 slots will be kept, 15 to 20 slots will be kept for carrying the speech signals. So all those things will be stored here. Okay, and their time slots address will be stored here at the address of the outgoing time slot. Okay, as and when they will be read out, they will be written here and decoded, and the corresponding speech will be read out and will be sent like that. Okay, this is the time switch here, which will be containing speech and connection store. Similar, the space division switch will be shown here, containing the matrix of cross points like that, around 32 cross points like this. Okay, so in the same way, just now we discussed about this. Okay. If you want, you can note down these things. So next we'll see how using this speech and connection store we are able to establish the connection here using the time switch. Means that it contains a number of time slot on the incoming highway whose sample is to be retransmitted in that outgoing time slot. The meaning of this sentence you try to understand here, guys. Multiplexer you have seen. Okay, it contains more number of inputs and only one output. At the input, whatever data you can keep, the same data will be going out. In the same way, whatever the speech signal is coming, sample is coming, speech sample is coming in that particular time slot of the incoming PCM highway. Listen here, whatever sample, speech sample is there in the particular time slot of the particular incoming PCM highway, that will be written at the particular address in the speech store. At the same time, the old one will be updated in the corresponding outgoing time slot Y kept in the connection store. That will be decoded, the corresponding speech will be read back and sent. So that is the meaning here. So information is read into the speech store cyclically in synchronization with incoming PCM highway. The PCM highway hang ಬರ್ಕೋತೋಗ್ತದೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಲಾಟದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಟ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಲಾಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತಾವೆ. So connection store has cyclic readout, but writing is non-cyclic. These things you must remember when you are going to explain about the time switch. So let's see how the connection can be established. Suppose if you want to number x of the time slot. Okay, number is telling the number instead of speech sample here. Number x of the time slot of an incoming channel is written into the connection store, where at the address corresponding to the outgoing channel. Connection store will hold the addresses of the outgoing channels Y. Okay. During each cyclic scan of speech store, an incoming PCM sample from channel X is written into the address X in the speech store. During each cyclic scan of the connection store, the number X is read out at the beginning of time slot Y. That is decoded and used to extract the speech and sent through the outgoing highway. This is how the connection can be established. Okay. So another alternate way is having the combination of space, time and space switching network that has been shown here. Okay, so X means you always remember speech store, and Y means always remember the connection store. So here you can see two space are there, a set of cross points, matrix of cross point, that is A switch, another matrix of cross point, C switch is there. M incoming highways are coming here, PCM highways are coming here. The space switching of M by K cross points, they will be connected to the respective time switches, each one having N by N size, providing K links here with the outgoings of these time switches will be acting like inputs to this another matrix of cross point, that is C switch. So another space switching is happening here with K by M matrix cross points, and then after that M outgoing PCM highways will be getting. Okay, that has been written here. M means number of PCM highways, N means number of time slots. So that is meaning here. So to transfer the data from time slot X, okay, to transfer the data from time slot X on incoming highway to time slot Y on outgoing highway, the connection store holds Y at address X. Okay, so in the connection store, it is always going to hold the addresses of Y where the X things will be coming and written there. Means Y is read out at time X and decoded to write incoming samples in the speech store. So by the cyclic scan speech store, which reads out the sample at time Y for retransmission on the outgoing highway. This is how the connection can be done with help of STS, another alternative. So you can see here, connection store will hold the addresses of outgoing slots Y, where whenever each P sample is coming in the speech store at the address X, it will be updated in the corresponding addresses of Y in the connection store. That will be decoded, and corresponding speech samples will be read away cyclically. All these things are cyclically happening. Reading out of speech, writing into the speech store, writing the things in the connection store and reading them, all these things are cyclically happening. Okay, so two difficulties what we are getting here for two different versions. Suppose if your outgoing reading decoding is delayed from the connection store, but you are reading the speech sample, then your whatever the speech you are going to read out, if it is delayed, means output sample occurs later in the same frame as the input sample. Otherwise, output sample occurs in the next frame, like this. This one you have to include when you are going to explain about STS switching networks. So another mentality of this one, in the similar way you can explain about TST, time space time switching networks. Here M incoming highways are supported with N by N time switches with only one space switch here, matrix of cross points, B switch M by N. Then again the space switching is happening here. Their outgoings will be connected to individual time switches supporting to M outgoing highways here. So let us see the operation is similar to that one STS only. In the similar way we can explain about this. So applications are, most present systems use DST, not much expensive due to the development of semiconductor memories because of storage of speech samples. Smaller switching network is required, more compact. Large switching networks can be built like TST. Along with that, you can also have 5 TST, triple ST, like that. That is the advantage of this. Example is banner 4 E triple S. So let us see, after seeing STS and switching networks, there are very important parts of this module. For the first part, bi-directional paths. So far we have seen here the switching networks providing a connection for only one direction of transmission. PCM transmission systems use 4-wire circuits, separate path, okay, for the incoming and outgoing. So that can be solved with respect to STS networks by sharing same speed store address in the time switch. If you have the same speed store address in the time switch, resolved. Let's see how this will be done. For connection between time slot X on one trunk, channel Y on another for one direct transmission, address are written at the end of time slot. So how we can get the switches here? Address written at the end of time slot X and are read out at the beginning of time slot Y. So we will be having the whole time duration so that we can share the same address. For the opposite direction, they are written at the end of same time slot Y and read out at the beginning of time slot X. In this way, we are able, by sharing the same speed store address, we are able to provide the bi-directional path in the STS networks. So whereas in TST network, your speech in two directions is carried by space using different time slots. The time slots, the two directions of transmission have fixed difference of 180 degrees. This is very important, guys. Time slots for the two directions of transmissions have fixed phase difference of 180 degrees. For example, in a 32 PC frame system, if time slot 12 is used for one direction, in time slot 12/16, the 28 is used for reverse direction. As the time is received from input high, the output has a connection. Here, same speed is used in the same cover to be used direction. This is how I can do by same switch over the same by in this what I see. Click read and some more complex input like innovations or three-based increase more than increase switch higher than cross transformers or transmission another to this expression. So the analytical feature samples yes, it is a named copy by her individual have sequences. So it has less impact on GUS, so that's why it is not much economically important. Let us see some important features of concentrators here. Concentrator connects the PCM highway with a high number of customer lines greater than the number of time slots. Means inputs are more in number compared to output. That is constant. It is concentrating large traffic towards less number of time slots. Codecs are connected to the common highways and may use a time slot with the controlled connection store. Group of codecs equal to number of available time slot 24/30 uses fixed number of times channel times on highway. A concentrator is connected to a root switch by PCM highway, and concentrator can be controlled by central processor in the main exchange. So like that, duplicate links are therefore provided. So the control functions of the concentrator used to connect calls between its own customers. So like that, we can explain about this